how's the week been treating you? You know, you're doing many different things. How are you?
I'm good. Like I'm very excited. We've got loads of good stuff going on at Bambuda Group and some of the initiatives that we're running. We're
Mm.
actually just recruiting all of the coaches at the moment and preparing for our impactful program for the next year, which kicks off in July. So we run a game changer program every year, which is our impact for this world, where we bring together some of the world's best professional coaches who donate
Mm.
their time, and we connect them with diverse business owners and leaders, underrepresented business owners and leaders. So
Wow.
yeah, for the next 12 months, and they get all sorts of coaching and learning and good stuff to empower them and give them the tools for them to be the game changing leaders that they are, that we need in this world.
I know. Is it very much about the whole kindness leadership thing? Was it more creating an impact?
Absolutely. So everything we do, and the ethos around my work is around kindness and how we can embed more of it into business. And it's interesting, I have a lot of meetings on a daily basis, and the more progressive companies get it, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, kindness, we kind of need to be kind to everybody at the moment, don't we? And we're like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, I think you do.
Your people need a bit of love. Your customers have got good expectations. Even your investors are like, what's your ESG? Are you good to the environment? Are you being kind to your people? Are you high risk with the way that you operate? So, I think we can talk about business, and we can talk about the way that we need to show up in a way which is really data driven. Oh, we can talk about kindness, which is about humans,
Yeah.
doing as much as they can to just make the world better. And that's our kind of main initiative, is that we work with leaders to build knowledge around what could be seen as bigger system change agendas, like how do
Mm.
you actually build brand purpose, how do you engage your customers, what does your supply chain look like, in a way which could be overwhelming for some leaders. But what we do is we break that down under our kindness curriculum. So we've got a kindness curriculum that focuses on 5 key pillars, which is kindness to customers, community, environment, people, and self. And then we work with
Lovely.
businesses to, build out programs within their businesses and organizations, leaning into one or more of those pillars, depending on what they need the most support with. So the good news is that it's proven to be good for business. Like, if your customers believe and are authentically believing in what you do and how you show up for the world, they're more likely to follow you. They're more likely to buy from you. People now, and next generation of people, want to work for purpose-driven organizations. And if you're genuinely doing what you say you're doing, that you got this beautiful engaged workforce. And so it's really CSR, ESG. There's a million names for it. Sustainable business, but the reality of it is,
Kindness.
just simplify it. Just be
Love it.
kind. Be kinder.
Have you sort of seen, is this more of an exponential thing where over the years you've seen businesses become more warm to it? Or it's because when you think about it, kindness, that's just a no-brainer.
Mm. But
But
it doesn't. It's not necessarily terminology that would sit in a boardroom.
correct.
Even equality and talking
Mm.
about diversity is uncomfortable in some boardrooms right now, never mind what the bigger agenda is. We might talk about CSR, or we've supported local charities, or
Mm.
we've done some community engagement. That's lovely. But there's growing pressure in every direction, and forces now that are really changing the landscape for businesses and how leaders show up. And at the moment, majority of leaders don't have the knowledge to really understand how it all fits together in a way which you apply to business strategy, forecasting, and reporting. So that's where
Mm.
we kind of come in and break things down into bite-sized chunks, into engaging ways to be involved and to take ownership over that. So I'd say COVID has given things a good push in the right direction. We work with some of the most progressive companies in the world that just know that this human-centered approach to business is the thing everybody needs right now. People are
Mm.
struggling with the mental health. There is a lot
Yeah,
going
it's
on.
so much going on nowadays, hey?
Yeah, there is a lot going on, but it's really, everyone's talking about the Great Reset, but it's a really great opportunity right now just to stop and think, what can we do differently and how can we redesign things? So
Mm.
So there is more equity for everybody involved, because actually it's good for business. We've got an amazing selection of resources on our website, which is widely available and open to everybody. And we collect everything, the proof around this. So you can, back up your business case for why you want to be kinder in business. The problem is certain language doesn't sit well with gender as well. So, the way we communicate and how we talk about the things that we do, purpose-driven teams and this and that is often sits within a more female agenda, or feminine energy. But actually the reality of it is, we all want to survive, we all want to thrive, we all want to do well.
Yeah, we're no different. We all want the same things fundamentally.
Absolutely.
Don't we?
Yeah, we're literally we're literally made the same, we just organize differently. And I think that's such a lovely way of looking at it, is we all start in the same place, as an egg, and we're organized differently.
Yeah, we got two arms, we got a
We
head,
have.
we got, we're the same. And it was interesting, I had a previous guest who came on a podcast before, Anna, and she actually went to the neuroscience behind how men and women think differently in a way. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, Anna, basically women think from a very sort of unilateral way. They might go left to right, forward, back, crisscross and whatnot. Men are very much in a binary state, yes or no. But when you sort of combine the two people together, it's fundamentally great for a business, because if you're going through a very complex project where you're investing X, Y, Z, you need to bring the two sides of the coin together.
You do. And the skill set that's brought through all of the gender dynamics that comes through the way our brains work. And it's not just about gender and, because actually there isn't just two genders on this planet. There are there are lots of different types of people and different makeups. I know men that are lean into what would be traditionally female skill sets and ways of working better than some women I know. And I know women that can operate in line with a traditional male, or, ways of working better than some men I know. But really it's around how, and the power is about how we bring those different ways of doing things together, because it creates innovation, and it means that we've got balance, and balance is about including everybody. A balance is about an ecosystem that fits together. And that when we look at that around tech as well, and neurodiversity and all of those different ways of thinking, it's not just around our biological makeup, it's also around how our brains work, and the skill sets and strengths that we can bring to the party. Because if you're operating only with one gender or only with one way of thinking, you're actually not able to create the competitive advantage, the innovative solutions, the ways of working that are going to future-proof your business. So that yes, above and beyond diversity in senior leadership and in any decision making and contributing factor is important, but it's again good for business. You're more likely to access new markets with diversity in senior leadership on boards. You're more likely to be able to find solutions, even with age diversity. Having younger and older people in the same space is vitally important with the way that you coordinate yourself and build things. And some of the most, I'll give you an example. So we've been working with the University of New South Wales recently, and they started working with us on our corporate kindness index, which will soon be underpinning the kindness awards that we put on the corporate kindness awards. So we're very excited about it. But we've spent a massive amount of our time trying to take what feels like an untangible, challenging term like kindness into something that's process driven, digestible, able to be applied and meaningful to business. And we do it very, very well. But for some people, the concept is just too diffuse for them to be able to process. So we bring these students come in. They're postgraduate students. They're all very intelligent. And they say in one sentence as they open the presentation, kindness in business is the art of making everything better.
Art of making
everything better. And I was like, wow, we've worked with some of the best consultants. We've worked with some of the best brand strategists over the years. And the students just keep it quite literal. They're 21, 22 years old. Let's keep it simple. Kindness is the art of making things better.
Hey,
And
like what you said, they're younger. They're somewhat not as influenced about the corporate world, and they just say it how it is.
that's right, because it's an easy way to process, an easy way to digest. But the reverse mentoring that goes on with, age diversity within teams is absolutely magnificent. And there are massive gaps between, the emerging generations now and the pre-existing generations that have been leading businesses. And they need each other, actually,
They do.
they do. And while they might be not get each other a lot, and there's this, the millennials are just sitting in this big tumbleweed in the middle, like sitting on the fence. They know how to, I'm a top end millennial by the skin of my teeth, but they know how to communicate with the baby boomers. They know how to communicate with the
Yeah, they're
alphas.
sort of in the middle in a way, aren't they?
Yeah, so we know not to push, we know not to rock the boat in either direction, but we can see there's a gap there, there's a gap, but also there is a massive amount of opportunity, because the landscape has changed, things have shifted, but we can never, ever, ever underestimate the value that our elders can bring us with regards to expertise, lived experience and knowledge. But then we can never underestimate the value that the younger generation of leaders that are coming in are giving us with regards to tech enablement, innovation, social change. And we just have to find that middle ground so we can harness all of those strengths and skills within an organization. And those that do very, very well.
Interesting. I love how you basically translated a somewhat very intangible concept in terms of kindness, and your coursework basically moves it across the spectrum and makes it tangible in a way. So I'm very curious to see about the frameworks, Anna. You mentioned you've distilled kindness into sort of frameworks, processes, and ways to sort of present it to people so they can understand, right?
That's right.
So essentially, you're helping organizations create an ROI case, because if they can see a strong return on investment, the numbers speak for themselves, right?
They do. Every single area of the curriculum is absolutely measurable and reportable. So, what does it look like for kindness to people? Staff retention, purpose-driven leaders. It looks like sales. It looks like talent acquisition. What does it look like? Innovation. It looks like a safe place to work. It looks like belonging. It looks like a movement that people want to join and be part of. What does it look like from customer engagement and kindness to customers? It looks like brand trust. It looks like loyalty. It looks like, actual social change that people can buy into and believe in. What does it look like from an environmental perspective? It looks like reduced CO2 emissions. It looks like carbon neutral. It looks like carbon positive. It looks like reduce waste. And from a community engagement perspective, it looks like you're showing up as a business that actually cares about the things that go on around. But the most fundamentally and important way of measuring your success of your business is really around the health of yourself and the wellness within yourself. Because leaders that are well create businesses that can make the world better, but leaders that don't look after themselves, don't, find ways of truly understanding what they stand for and leading with integrity, struggle. So the onus and the responsibility isn't on a silo of CSR on the side of the business that is like they live in the basement, like the IT crowd. Which I love the IT crowd, by the way. I've been watching that recently. So talking of PC, it's probably not that on point with regards to the comedy these days, though.
Oh no.
It's really about taking accountability, because every person in an organization really is accountable for the change and for making things better and contributing to that. But what does that look like as an individual? What does that look like organizationally? And then what does that look like with the impact that that can have on society? So system change is complex and it's overwhelming. So that's why we break it down. So we make it easy through our programs. So our flagship program is our Kind Leader program, which are in-house academies. Which bring leaders together, middle managers and leaders into hubs that we facilitate monthly. And the leaders get access to coaches and lots of knowledge to help them build out their awareness across all of those areas in the curriculum. And the results for those businesses is leaders that are future-proof. They understand why this matters. They understand the knock-on effects that they have, through their actions, and also take accountability. So it's a really, really kind of unique and progressive way of ensuring you are arming. We don't like to use the word arming, but empowering your leaders to really be able to make sure your business is sustainable into the
So
future.
it sounds like a very holistic approach, because in addition to sort of working on an individual on an organizational level, you're also working on him and her from a personal level to help him or her find that North Star. And if he or she can be a better version of themselves, then literally be a better leader within the organization.
That's right. Him, her, or they, or them. And, we have to remember that people show up in lots of different ways. So
good point, Anna.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's exactly what we do is, we're not there to be on lead guitar. Our team, our facilitators come in to play bass. We walk beside you, we understand what your key problems are, and then we help you build these programs that are really going to harness the power of the leadership power of your team in a peer-to-peer way where we can help build knowledge where there are gaps, and then track it, make it measurable, make it accountable, and then start celebrating the change that you can really actually make in this world.